Our next lead battle deck is releasing on November 7th for $30 USD. Unfortunately, where previous lead battle decks like Dragapult, Charizard, and Gardevoir were insane value and no-brainers for everyone to buy, this one's a bigger buzzkill than when you use Brave Bird on a Buzzwole. Clearly, because the Pokemon Company doesn't watch my videos, they decided to make Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX the focus of the next lead battle deck. This is an absolutely disastrous decision. Yeah, sure, the deck had some hype around it earlier this year, but when Destined Rivals came out, I was proven right and it faded away faster than my ex-wife's looks after we got married. Because these products are designed months in advance though, we're stuck with Mewtwo as our final lead battle deck of 2025, even though something like Cynthia's Darkchamp EX or any Mega deck would have made more sense. But the Pokemon Company only cares about dollars. Anyway, enough of me complaining, let's continue by me complaining scientifically. Priced at $30, is the Mewtwo EX lead battle deck worth it physically? Absolutely not. While you do receive a few extra items like a PTCGL code and a deck box, according to Limitless it costs just $21 to buy all the cards separately. So unlike past lead battle decks where the savings were in the $20 to $30 range, here you're spending $9 extra. Obviously prices are always fluctuating, but even someone as bad at math as I am knows spending more for less isn't smart. And what about from a competitive standpoint? Well, it's rough. Ignoring the fact that Mewtwo isn't all that great in Standard right now, the list itself kinda sucks. Scramble Switch as the ace spec is nonsensical. Maximum Belt is the far superior option with Secret Box in second. I don't even think Scramble Switch would be in the top 5. You'll also find 3 Mewtwo when you only need 2, plus a 2/2/2 line of Crobat EX, which jams up the list far too much. A 4/4 Spidops plus a Bravery Charm Defiance Band and Wobbuffet would be far more optimal. But because lead battle decks have set a precedent of having multiple EXs in them, they decided to chuck Crobat into the mix even though it's not particularly useful. Looking at the trainers, how on earth Earthen Vessel isn't included is beyond me. The whole strategy with this deck is to use Spidops' ability to accelerate energy into play, then energy switch it to Mewtwo to attack or discard it to deal 280 damage. Instead, you're relying solely on 4 Ultra Ball to do the job. The only possible reasoning is that Earthen Vessel rotates in March with all the other G-Block cards, and they didn't want to include a card leaving in Standard in a few months. Elsewhere, 4 Proton when you already have 4 Transceiver is redundant. Proton should never be more than a 2 of. And a third Giovanni would be much better than a second switch. So is the Mewtwo EX lead battle deck worth it? Both scientifically and in my humble expert opinion, absolutely not. The deck isn't competitive, the cost is way too high for what's included, the cards you get are from before June 2025 and the start of the new Mega Evolution generation, and the majority of cards only work in a Team Rocket's deck, meaning they can't be taken out and used elsewhere. Looking at Pokemon TCG Live, due to the nerfs to credit farming over the last 12 months, which includes shop limits plus reduced credits by about 50%, lead battle decks have taken a hit in their usefulness. Shadow Rider and Ice Rider can still be great, but Celebrations is the consensus overall #1 pick if you're patient. I haven't bothered to update the old lead battle decks with the new lower numbers because that'd take more work than what the PTCGL dev puts into each new patch. Instead, I'll just show you how the Mewtwo deck compares to the other recent lead battle decks provided you own 4 copies of every card already. Assuming I did the math correctly, spending 1,250 trainer points on the Mewtwo lead battle deck will reward you with 1,415 trade credits. The nicest thing I can say is that it's not the worst. It's the second worst, finishing around the same amount you get from the other EX decks, not counting Miraidon. I also chucked the 6-pack Celebrations bundle into the mix to show you just how much better it is. The plus of the Celebrations is that there's no shop limits and it's cheaper by about 100 points. The mine-in is that it takes a few months to obtain 4 copies of every card, allowing you to earn that amount of credits. Finally, is there any way to upgrade the Mewtwo EX lead battle deck? Sure. You shouldn't, but if you ask for Pokemon cards on your Christmas list and your grandparents gift you this instead of packs that have 0 hits in them, you can make it slightly more competitive. I will warn you that at least in Japan, a Team Rocket's Mewtwo deck has won just a single tournament in the last month. Yeah, the Mega Evolution format definitely hasn't been kind to it. Basically, you just want to turn the lead battle deck into what Mewtwo's been all along. Fezandipiti helps with card draw, while Clefairy helps with Dragon D's nuts. You cut Crobat since it's useless and try to hit super hard with Mewtwo and Maximum Belt with Spidops as a great backup attacker. Ultimately though, the answer to whether you should buy the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX lead battle deck and if it's worth upgrading is the same. A no, the size of Snorlax's dumper. Financially, it's not a good deal in real life or on PTCGL. And competitively, you'll be left wondering why you spent $30 on this thing instead of buying yourself some high-end foot lotion for Christmas.